Good evening, City Council. This is Anthony Miller, Special Districts Manager with the City of Oxnard Public Works Department, presenting modification of the City of Oxnard Community Facilities District Number 9, North Shore at Mandalay Bay, and approval of the deposit and reimbursement agreement. Recommendation that the City Council, acting as the legislative body of the City of Oxnard Community Facilities District Number 9, North Shore at Mandalay Bay, adopt the following resolutions. 1. Resolution approving a deposit and reimbursement agreement relating to the change proceedings for City of Oxnard Community Facilities District Number 9, North Shore at Mandalay Bay. And 2. A resolution of consideration declaring its intention to modify the rate and method of apportionment for the special tax relating to City of Oxnard Community Facilities District Number 9, North Shore at Mandalay Bay, increase certain special tax rates, add a new special tax, increase the maximum bonded indebtedness, amend a funding and acquisition agreement, revise the appropriations limit of said community facilities district, other related actions in connection thereto, and setting the public hearing for July 15th, 2025. This is a map of special districts in the City of Oxnard. Background. Community Facilities Districts, or CFDs, are established pursuant to the provisions of California Government Code Section 53311 at SECWIN. CFDs raise money through special taxes that must be approved by 2/3 of the voters within a CFD. The City Council is the legislative body of any CFD that is formed by the city. Most often, CFDs are formed by the landowner prior to the subdivision development. A CFD can be formed to finance and maintain a wide list of improvements, which may include roads, water facilities, sewers, environmental remediation, and schools. The taxes are secured by a continuing lien and are levied against properties within the CFD on an annual basis. Revenue is used to pay debt service on bonds, to finance facilities on a pay-as-you-go basis, to pay for services, or a combination thereof. The city established Community Facilities District Number 6, North Shore at Mandalay Bay, or CFD6, in 2006 for the prior proposed development located in the city at the northeastern corner of the intersection of West 5th Street and Harbor Boulevard. In 2021, the then owner requested a new CFD and dissolution of CFD6. Following proceedings, CFD number 9, North Shore at Mandalay Bay, or CFD9, was formed and CFD6 was dissolved. CFD9 included A facility special tax for the life of any bond issues, B, a services special tax in perpetuity, and C, an environmental special tax for remediation, operation, and maintenance activities as required and approved for the duration needed by the Department of Toxic Substances Control, DTSC. CFD9 has a not-to-exceed bond authorization of $22,500,000. The current owner and developer, Fifth Harbor Owner, LLC, the landowner, has requested modifications to CFD9 to increase the facility special tax. No changes are recommended for the environmental special tax. Add a new special tax for state parks, and to increase the bond authorization from $22,500,000 to $40 million. Staff has requested the general services special tax to be increased as well to better reflect the cost of services, which the developer has agreed to. These changes still maintain the integrity of the 1.8% average effective tax rate. The current development plan is for 292 single-family residences. This report differs slightly from the report presented to the Finance and Governance Committee on May 13, 2025, with the following changes noted. 1. The developer requested the title of a new special tax rate be changed from Special Tax State Park to Special Tax State Park Maintenance Services. 2. The maximum escalator for the Special Tax State Park Maintenance Services is set at 5%. 3. The title of the resolution approving a deposit and reimbursement agreement has been changed to remove reference to a disbursement agreement that is not under consideration. 4. The public hearing dates established within Attachment 7 and this staff report have been updated to reflect a later than originally anticipated City Council date for this item. 5. The inclusion of Edison Canal and Channel Islands harbor maintenance has replaced Mandalay State Beach maintenance and patrol funding within Exhibit B of Attachment 7, as beach maintenance and patrol funding was separated into its own special tax. Discussion. CFD9 was formed for the purpose of funding the following: A. Public infrastructure facilities and other governmental facilities, including fees related thereto, with an estimated useful life of 5 years or longer, including, but not limited to, all or a portion of sanitary sewer, water, street, storm drain, park facilities, public art, or other real or tangible property, and related costs, including design, inspection, professional fees, and acquisition costs. B. Services including, but not limited to, landscaping, street lighting, maintenance of sewer, storm drain, irrigation systems, beaches and parks, beach patrol, and weed abatement. And C. The remediation of any hazardous substance released or threatened to be released into the environment on the property, and any associated operation, maintenance, and/or monitoring activities, as more particularly described in the response plan approved by DTSC on December 17, 2018, known as the Response Plan, the Operation and Maintenance Plan approved by DTSC on March 7, 2019, or the O&M Plan, and any additional remedial activities or protective measures. The landowner requested that a new special tax to be known as the Special Tax State Park Maintenance Services be added and included within CFD 9 to fund a fee for state park services for resource protection measures at Mandalay State Beach. Special tax state park maintenance services are required under condition number 92 of the original conditions of development imposed upon the developer. The landowner has also requested that the facility special tax be increased, and staff recommends and landowner agrees that the general services special tax be increased. The cost estimates of facilities, services, and state park services have been reviewed and updated. All parties have reviewed the parameters of the modified special tax formula or the amended and restated rate and method of apportionment, the amended RMA, which includes the assigned and maximum amended special tax for the facilities, the amended special tax for the general services, a new special tax for state parks, and the existing special tax for remediation services. The special taxes will be levied each year according to the amended RMA and placed on the county property tax rolls. The first resolution approves the form of a deposit and reimbursement agreement with the landowner. The landowner has made a deposit of $27,000 to the city toward the cost of modifying CFD 9, including the costs of consultant time. The costs of modifying CFD 9 are the responsibility of the landowner. If bonds are issued, the landowner will be reimbursed from the proceeds of the bonds. The special tax facilities levy is used to pay debt service on bonds or for facilities on a pay-as-you-go basis, or a combination thereof. Upon completion of the modification and election process for the CFD, and once development has progressed sufficiently as determined by the city, CFD 9 will issue one or more series of special tax bonds, or the bonds, to acquire the facilities built by the landowner. Bonds will also pay or reimburse the landowner for the payment of certain impact fees related to facilities as provided in an amended and restated funding and acquisition agreement, and to reimburse the landowner for formation costs and modification costs of CFD 9. The bond authorization for the district is proposed to be increased from a not to exceed amount of $22.5 million to a not to exceed amount of $40 million, with the intent to issue one or more series of bonds with a 30-year maturity with escalating debt service of 2% per year. The amended RMA includes an assigned tax and a backup tax for the special tax facilities for developed property in case the number of residential units built is less than estimated. Once developed property is taxed, undeveloped and contingent property will be taxed if needed. The maximum special tax facilities escalates at an annual rate of 2%. Attached to this report is a description of the estimated facilities, the impact fees, and an estimated budget. Facilities, including fees not financed by the CFD, are still required to be provided by the landowner. The special tax services will be levied annually in perpetuity to finance the general services. Attached to this report is a description and estimated budget of the general services to be provided. Once developed property is taxed at the maximum rate, undeveloped and contingent property will be taxed if needed. The maximum special tax services escalates at the greater of a 2% or a CPI escalation factor, in any case not to exceed 5%. The special tax environmental will be collected by the CFD and turned over to the newly formed nonprofit, the North Shore Environmental Conservancy, or NEC, to pay for the annual budget of remediation services that is approved by DTSC, all as provided in a special tax and disbursement agreement among the city on behalf of itself and the CFD, the landowner, and NEC. The amended RMA includes an assigned tax and a backup tax for the special tax environmental for developed property, in case the number of residential units built is less than estimated. Once developed property is taxed at the maximum rate, undeveloped and contingent property will be taxed if needed. The maximum special tax environmental escalates at an annual rate of 2%. Upon the issuance of a certificate of completion, or its substantial equivalent by DTSC for all of the remediation services, the special tax environmental will no longer be levied. Estimated costs associated with the special tax environmental are not changing and are not included in this report. The special tax state park maintenance services will be levied annually to finance the state park fee and services. Attached to this report is a description and estimated budget of the state park fee and services to be provided. The special tax state parks maintenance services will be collected by the CFD and turned over to the state as provided in an agreement to be entered into between CFD 9, landowner, and the state. The amended RMA includes an assigned tax and a backup tax for the special tax state park maintenance services for developed property, in case the number of residential units built is less than estimated. Once developed property is taxed at the maximum rate, undeveloped and contingent property will be taxed if needed. The maximum special tax state park maintenance services escalates at the greater of 2% or a CPI escalation factor, in any case not to exceed 5%. Process. A petition to modify CFD 9 has been received from the landowner covering the property, consisting of approximately 90 acres. The formal City Council approval process to change CFD 9 takes approximately 60 to 75 days. 1. First step at City Council meeting on June 26, 2025, the City Council, acting as the legislative body of CFD 9, A, adopts the resolution approving the form of the deposit and reimbursement agreement, and B, adopts a resolution of consideration to modify CFD 9 and sets a public hearing on the proposed changes scheduled for July 15, 2025. 2. The second step, at City Council meeting on July 15, 2025, the City Council, acting as the legislative body of CFD 9, A, holds a public hearing on the proposed modifications, B, provided there is no majority protest, adopts a resolution calling for an election, C, conducts a special mailed ballot election, D, adopts a resolution canvassing the election, and E, adopts a resolution of change and approving the amended and restated funding and acquisition agreement. The landowners have waived election timelines, so an election may be held on July 15, 2025 to authorize the increase of the facilities and general services special taxes and increase in authorized bonded indebtedness. Should the item pass with a 2/3 vote from the qualified voters, the landowners, the city may adopt the resolution of change. At a later date, the CFD, in its sole discretion, will determine the final amount of bonds issued. The proposed maximum bond authorization is $40 million. The not-to-exceed bond amount for the CFD is based on facilities costs and available special tax facilities. If the action is approved, the modification of CFD9, special election, and approval of other related documents will occur on July 15th, 2025. Bonds are not expected to be authorized for issuance or sale until the development is well underway and the facilities are at or near completion, at which time documents relating to the issuance and sale of the bonds will be brought to the City Council for its approval. Financial impact. There is no direct financial impact in approving these resolutions. There is no financial impact to the general fund. Questions?